Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Burning Questions, your favourite digital show via Harness Racing Victoria. But really, it's all about the stars. Life is all about the stars. And our newest star today is a man who is right now in Mariupol, fighting to protect one of the Ukrainian cities that's under attack. Mark Pitt, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, Jace. How are you?
It's cold wherever you are.
Yeah, it is a little bit fresh this morning. Light fog and a little bit of sleety rain, but pretty good now.
It's slightly warmer. Well, not a lot warmer, but slightly warmer wherever Andy Gaff is. How are you, Andrew?
I'm fine, thanks, Jason.
What's the brand of your jacket today?
Going back to Hugo Boss.
Did they call you? So you got an email suggesting if you want to continue to have special privileges at Hugo Boss, then that'll be enough of the other brands. I've gone with my 80s look today, a little bit of a colour me bad type situation. The t-shirt under the blazer. You happy with it?
That's not bad.
Thank you.
Not bad.
And Skeeter, how are you?
Good, thank you, Bon. It's nice to be back. We've dropped Tim, got 1 week in, but didn't get his best bet up, and we know the ramifications of that. So he gets dropped, and it's good to be back.
But he was betting on your behalf, so your streak has ended.
No, I will not have a bar of that. And I also wasn't thrilled to tune in and see that you said I tipped shorties when only one's been odds on, and the streak is 5, not 2, like Toc mentioned. So a couple of whacks there. So I'm back to with a bit at stake this week.
The streak is 0 at the moment. Hip Pocket Workwear and Safety is a sponsor. They look after you with everything. Beanies, car key if you need it, glasses, blazers, the lot. They don't do a lot of that stuff, actually, but they're very, very good. Don't worry about it. Burning Questions. We get an extra one today. One for free, the steak knives. I'll tell you about that later. But the first question of the Burning Questions, are we sold on Wildfire version that we saw first up? I'll tell you what, Pity, and I'd love the post-race interview. Just gave it to the candy man in the post-race interview. They told me to outdrive Sugars, and I just outdrove him. But that was a career-best performance. Can he back it up again on Saturday night, Pity?
Yeah, look, it was something we probably can't do much, outdrive Sugars, but we did that night, and that's a feather in the cap. But yeah, look, I think he can. As long as he's come through the race well, I think he can run a show like he did the other night.
He's led twice in 42 Australian starts. It looks like you're the leader again here. He's won both times he's led. No issues there?
No, I don't think there's any issues. I think he could have held him in Sydney when he raced in the sprint, but he elected to take cover. But this week he won't be taking any cover.
Andy, do we believe what we saw? Because what we saw was quite frightening first up from a break. He's a first up freak, but I went through his second up form, and he doesn't normally drop off too far. I think he won a Charlton Cup second up from a break. Your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously he went terrific last start, and the SP profile had him at $4.50 fixed odds, and he's going around 155 this week in a lot harder race and a lot more depth and more runners. But he's a quality horse. He's getting better. He's only a 7-year-old. He's sort of got better with age, and you think he's going to stroll to the front. The only concern, he only had to run 800 metres last start, but it was a great, unbelievable 800 metres. If they have to go break 54, whatever, for the 2200, he could be a little bit suspect, but he's definitely the one to beat. But he has got quality opposition. You've got a Chariots of Fire winner, you've got 888 quality horses. So it's still no gimme race, but he's the one to beat.
Can you see anyone laying down the law, though, Andrew?
Probably not. I think the only one is 888. I know he doesn't generally get driven like that, but they might want to give him a sort of pretty tough run before they head up to Queensland. That's just me just sort of guessing, but we'll see what happens.
So Andy's stolen my thunder with the SP profile stuff. I agree. It's kind of strange, Skeeter. But I'll tell you what, it looks a great race on paper. We both got very excited when we saw the nominations in the field, but I've got a funny feeling this is going to be a very pedestrian, maudlin affair where not a lot happens, and like a wildfire, if he can do what he did last start, Petty can press the button whenever he wants and just win the race.
Completely agree, Bon. I had this conversation yesterday, actually. I thought, where does the pressure come from? I think Like Wildfire can make his way to the top and from there just dictate things and dominate. He's always shown glimpses. It wasn't a huge shock. It was probably a shock that he sat outside 888 and put him away like he did, but he's always shown the makings of a Grand Circuit horse. So to see him really put it together and put in a performance like that last time, it was really exciting. So I'm very confident he wins this week.
I know they say I love a lot of horses. I love this horse. And it hurt me that his bravura performance came and I wasn't on. But anyway, and I was declaring Triple H just quality. Well done, Bon. Second question. Burning questions. Will the early speed decide the Metro Pace decider? Andy, once you predicted, I think, a lead time in a Victoria Cup that was required for Caribbean Blaster to win. What's the lead time required for Yambuckian to win on Saturday night?
Yeah, they've got to break 45, I'd say. Every
You've
time
read my form comment.
I can't read. I'm illiterate, J-Bond, so. Yeah, obviously, something better found the lead, quite comfortably last week, but he still went a 45-something lead time. Yambuckian was terrific first up, and hopefully he's better again for the run. But outside the second row over 2,200, you just need that fast lead time, and whether it happens or not, you never know. You only need two people that dislike each other, and you get one. So we'll see what happens.
Do you think something better is going to get an easy lead?
I don't think so. I don't think he will from barrier 7. I don't think anyone gets an easy lead from barrier 7.
Pity, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, it's a tricky one. I'm a bit with Andy. It's got to be a pretty generally run race, and I think if it is, I think his horse will be a bit too good for him.
What do you reckon, Skid? I tend to think something better's never been beaten in front. 6 starts in front for 6 wins, and I think he might get there. But even if the lead time's not spectacular, it's all about how quickly Yambuckian can get where he needs to be outside something better, I think.
Yeah, it's a really deep race, this race, isn't it, Bon? And I think totally tempo dependent like everyone else. I don't know if something better's guaranteed the front. If he does, there's no doubt he's the horse to beat. But there's so much quality off the back row as well. Helliver didn't, he did what he could do last week, and Yambuckian was so impressive. So, yeah, I think it's going to be tempo dependent, this race, and the winner. And it's a really, really good race.
Who's the best roughie in that race? Skeeter?
Have we seen a market?
Yes. Well, anybody outside something better in Yambuckian, you can have your pick of anybody else.
Maybe Helliver.
Pity?
Oh, it's a tricky one. Probably, I reckon Mr. Perfect.
Of course you do. Of course you. Andy?
Drain the Swamp.
Drain the Swamp for me as well. I think he's only ever won in front, but I tell you what, he works home really well on the heat. And when you go back, if it's a really, really fast run race, I think the Drain the Swamp can win at double figure odds. Question 3, Mark Pitt. Can Von Art continue her freakish winning streak? I'm still not sold. You're going to have to pitch me here. You were behind the leader. You got the job done. The picket fence form line. Andy said she'd win. Yada, yada, yada. Is she really good or not?
Yeah, look, this week's probably another test for her again. She's probably up in grade a little bit more this week than she was last week. I know she got a good trip behind the leader last week and finished off well, but she's not. I don't think she'll find the front this week. So, she's probably going to be 1 out, 2 back, 1 out, 3 back. So, she'll have to make a move at some point. And, whether she's better than him, she is. But if she isn't, she isn't. But I still think she's a pretty nice mare.
That was a bob each way from Petty, I've got to tell you. But the good news is there's been no gunfire that I've heard recently. So obviously everything's pretty cool. Maybe there's a ceasefire. Andy, what are your thoughts here? You did say she's been savaging the line, you said. You said she'll win that race, and she did. I think she's going to get shuffled back, and there's a couple I've got in front of her.
Yeah, that's another big step up in class for her, and she's not going to find the pegs, I don't think. So, again, winning form's good form. She's definitely a winning hope, but she'll need things to go away. There's some mares in this whose figure form doesn't look probably that flash on paper, but are racing really well. So it's a tricky little race, but yeah, it's probably going to be $3.50 the field, I'd say. I don't think there's any standouts. So whoever has luck in running is going to be probably winning the race, and Von Art's one of them. But again, you're probably going to have to take unders compared to last start.
You parked out in the Long Forest today. This isn't your normal location.
No, I'm only about 50 metres from where I normally are, but found a tree in the background.
It's beautiful to see a little foliage. Skeeter, your thoughts here? I had an avant-garde idea that if Let It Linger can just lead comfortably and Yolanda follows through, Yolanda might even be able to work around and find the front here. But I've predicted you're an Enchanted Stride, Nuffy. So I'm thinking you're going to be thinking Enchanted Stride's the one to beat, and that's what I think as well.
I am, but with little confidence because I just think it's such an open, even race. And yeah, there are so many winning chances and probably 3 key winning chances. And Von Art is one of them because she just keeps stepping up, doesn't she? And it was pretty soft win, I thought, in the end last time too. The margin wasn't big, but she did everything that she had to do. So another big step up here. Yolanta and Enchanted Stride, I really like both their runs back, especially Enchanted Stride. She's had no right to make up the ground that she has in the times that they've been running. So she's a mare that needs a little bit to go her way, but she can absolutely win, but so can so many of them. So I wouldn't be shocked to see 3 or 4 of them get the job done in this race.
I'll tell you what, that was a burning question and the flame is out. There was no flame there. Everyone just good even race, anything can happen. Hopefully someone wins. Question 4. Normally the end of the road on burning questions. We're here for hip pocket workwear and safety, but not today. This is question 4. It's the penultimate. Skeeter, does Knights Templar swamp them with his speed even if he goes back 1,720 metres, a race where most of them on the front line I think will go back? Is he that much better than them that he can go back and still win?
He can go back and still win. Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Obviously, again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it is going to depend on the tempo. But I don't know if he's going to have to go right back at the start. He's got Chris Elford aboard, so if anyone can find a spot in the running line and not have to drag right back to last, it's probably him. So if he can be midfield, I think he's just got that turn of foot that can win him the race. But it's another really even one. So yeah, I wouldn't be declaring him just because we know how he races, but he's the one to beat.
You've stolen Andy's again. He shelved it now for a while, and now you've stolen his again. Hopefully you paid a decent price for it. Pity, what are your thoughts here? Knights Templar. I'll tell you what, doesn't have to go back, but I reckon they will. Is he that much better than them in the second leg of the quad?
Yeah, look, I think he's a really nice horse, Knights Templar. If he does go back, he's probably relying on a lot of genuine tempo, and if not, I really think the horse is probably to beat is Jeremy Wells. If it does find the front, I thought it went really good in its heat.
Are you getting $50 from Nathan and Russell? Yeah, he asked for more than 50, 100. Andy, thoughts here? I think you'll win even if the tempo isn't genuine.
Yeah, his first up run was terrific behind Captain Belisario in track record time. He's only had the 16 starts, so he's still got plenty of room for improvement. I think if you look back in 12 months' time and these horses in this race, he'll be more, he'll be the one that's going to go on and have a fantastic career, where a lot of these are a little bit stagnant. So, yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Barrier 5, you either got to go forward or back. Puppet has to make a decision, but I think either way, I just think he'd be too good for him. He just has too much class.
Yeah, he should be too good, I think, and a little bit of a spoiler alert. Well, he's going to be my best bet. See you later. I've told you. Final question of the burning questions. Can Greg's Kiwi try to get back on track, or does Sunoco get top billing as the class drops back? Pity, this is a burning question that's almost impossible to answer. You've got to try and, unless you could talk to one overall and ask him if he's going to do everything right and find the front and beat his best, I guess.
Yeah, look, I think manners is a big thing for him, but if his manners are on song, I just think he leads and wins.
I tend to agree. Andy, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously, they've had to work on him a fair bit to get his manners back on track. And when you're sometimes trying to get a trotting right, you're probably not training it to your normal training pattern. So he trotted really good last week. So I think he'd be able to, the team at Lower J would have been able to work him the way they wanted to this week. I think he finds the top and finds his true form, and he's going to be pretty hard to beat, I'd say. As
the superstar square gating trainer in this part of the world, Andy, tell me this. When you're trying to stop, when you maybe change the shoeing or something to try and stop them breaking stride, are you at risk occasionally from losing some speed, or are you at risk of losing what makes them great when you're trying to work out how to get them just to stay in gate?
Yeah, definitely. If you've got one break in, if you've got light shoes on them, you're probably going to go a little bit heavier. And if you go heavier shoes, you're going to take away a bit of speed and a little bit of staying power as well. But hard to win trot races if you're breaking all the time. So, again, getting back on track, which I think he showed last week that he's sort of back on track trotting wise, though, I think they'll be able to revert back to how they normally training.
I'm going to take it a training license. I've got this game covered. I think I've worked it out. Skeeter, your thoughts here?
Yeah, look, we have seen him run some really good races in front. There's no doubt about that. But given that he was a bit disappointing last week and then the 2 starts prior he galloped, I just can't have stacks of confidence in him. So he probably comes out and leads and wins now. But I would probably side with the tested, trusted horse like Nephew of Sudoku, who I've probably got a bit of a crush on at the moment because he's just going so well and he's just really in the zone. So wouldn't be shocked, but yeah, you've got to take him on trust a little bit, 1 overall. He's going to do everything right and put in a really nice performance against a quality field as well.
It's not a racing too. Humble Lad has been trialling really well. Brantlow Prince, I think that draw's not too bad. And there's a couple that are. Zarem was an eye catcher last time out as well. Right, time for best bets. Hip pocket workwear and safety. Mark Pitt, do not give me anything from Team Jack. I want something else. What's your best bet of the night?
Like a Wildfire for me.
Nice little cheapie. Just nurdled one down a fine leg there, I reckon. Just flicked it off the legs. Like a Wildfire at relatively short odds. Nikita Ross.
I'm going nice and early this week. I'm going Belmont Royale. I think can probably find his way to the top. And from there, I can't see a whole heap of pressure in the race. And he's been racing pretty consistently. I thought he was really good last time and gets his chance this week.
It pretty much, does he remember how to win? That's the question.
So I hope so. That is the risk. But I think if he's going to, it's this race.
Yeah, this has got to be his race. We've said it a few times, but this has got to be his race. He leads and he doesn't win. Be done. Knights Templar for me. Andy Gath. Now, you could have gone with Jan Buckian last week, but you said you didn't want to moz your own horses any longer. Are we going to go back to your own stable or are we going further afield?
I'm going to moz you, J-Bon, and go with Knights Templar.
We've got 1 or 2 right together, haven't we?
I can't remember.
As a change, if we go down together, but we'll go up together here, I think. Knights Templar will be winning. Pitty, great to have you on board. Look after yourself. If they start shelling, look for that bunker, all right?
Thanks, Chase.
Go out and have a little walk in the trees, Andy, and just feel some nature. You're looking a lot better since that terrible bout of influenza A, and well done to you too, Skeeter.
Thanks, Bon. Nice to be back.
That's been the burning questions. We didn't answer all of them, I don't reckon, but we had a decent crack, and hopefully we found you some winners for Saturday night at Tabcorp Park, Melbourne.